You know, I really find it very rewarding. The job we do nowadays, the whole industry, my job has become harder. We have to work a lot more hours for every loan. And these are not loans that we make the most money on. But I like to have them as part of my normal business because these are the loans that give me the greatest satisfaction to see how hard these people have worked for it. And you really, you know, the rate of foreclosures is very low in this program. These clients are really ready and know what they need to do. And they're so appreciative of the help we give them, and they're so happy at their closing. And I usually try to go to all the closings for my IDA candidates, just because of that. It's a personal reward. I like to let them know kind of what's going on in the industry, especially as things are changing. You know, we can be there to say, you know, if you used to have to have, you know, a certain score or a certain requirement for loan time, it's helpful if we can tell them in advance, well, it's tightening up, so they can be prepared by the time it comes their time to get a loan. So I think just to give little updates in the industry. And to be there if they have questions on, well, is this, if I do this, will that be a bad thing? I think, you know, we think the education that they get is fantastic, especially what they learn about budgeting and managing their money and preparing for home ownership. Lessons that some of my clients who make a lot of money could learn, you know, about saving, about knowing what they're doing with their money. And I think it really prepares them. I always love taking a loan app for somebody who's in the IDA program because they come in with their 3-inch binder and they have everything they need. Some clients, it takes them 2 to 3 weeks to get me all the documentation I need, but the IDA clients are always ready and prepared. And they've kind of been warned about the process has gotten a little bit more cumbersome these days, and you know, I manage them through it. And I closed one on Monday for a client who had been in the program, actually graduated a couple of years ago and wasn't ready. And she was ready now, and she got a brand new home for a great deal. I think it was in the spring of 2009. The IDA program sponsored sort of a fair for IDA recent graduates and people who were soon to graduate, where they could meet various lenders in the community and realtors, sort of interview us and see who they might like to work with. And one client in particular stood out that day. I took down her information and pulled her credit and talked to her. She was a single mom who didn't receive any child support, and she just made just a tiny bit over $7 an hour, which is amazing to me how she could manage everything. And she was going to school part-time. She was an IDA graduate, and she did receive a Section 8 rental subsidy that was going to turn into a Section 8 home ownership subsidy. And she was a saver. Not only had she saved about $2,000 in her IDA account, she had saved a couple thousand in her regular checking account. And it just amazed me, how could she do this? And the more I talked with her and the more I talked about her commitment to wanting to provide a better life for her daughter, there was just something that shined through. We thought we were going to do a loan right away for her, and then she found out that her daughter needed braces, and she had to make a down payment for the braces, and so she had to take some money out of the IDA account. But within 6 months after that, we did a loan for her, and again, with as little money as she made, she was just so impressive at how well she managed her money, how she made it stretch, and just her commitment to her daughter was just supremely impressive. And it was a very emotional closing to go to. Everybody was there, from the Center for Home Ownership, the housing department for the Section 8 subsidy, the IDA folks, and myself as a lender and the realtor. And you know, there were tears, and that it was happy tears. And so she's somebody I will always remember. Because somebody's low income doesn't mean they're not a good qualified borrower. You know, or just because somebody's had credit problems in the past doesn't mean they can't be cleaned up, fixed, establish new credit, demonstrate that they can manage credit. You know, people can get past anything and become a homeowner.